Listen, I'm so tired of able people just bringing up this discourse over and over again about pre-cut fruits and vegetables and complaining about it. It's getting brought back. It got brought back up again on Twitter. And you might be here from a previous video where I talk about like actual tools and stuff in the kitchen, but today we're going to be talking about the actual food itself. Listen, I get it, save the environment, save the world, a plastic bad, oh my god. But do we have to insult, even if it is indirectly doing so, do we have to insult disabled people while doing so? So along the time when this gets brought up, and it's always with a photo of like pre-cut oranges, right? Also talking about like ready meals and stuff like that. Almost always, without fail, somebody will be using the word lazy, etc., you know, just all this talk about how we don't need these things, they're much too expensive, which actually, that part is true. I'll give you points for that. Anything along the lines that you can think of, it's probably been said. But here's the thing, pre-cut fruits and vegetables and ready meals in general, they are extremely important for disabled people. For elderly people too, probably. I mean, there are elderly people who are disabled, but we're just gonna use the word disabled. You get where I'm going here with this. And I know, there's people who have not thought of that before, haven't thought of disabled people in this equation before. What else is new? And now they're gonna be like, oh, I never thought about. And I thank you for that. Cool. I'm so happy that you've learned something from this. But then of course you're still gonna get people who then say, but why can't they just get their caretakers to buy fresh fruit without the plastic and cut it up themselves for these disabled people? And to that I say, not every disabled person has a 24/7 person caretaker with them to do absolutely everything. And for those that do have a caretaker, it's not always 24/7, and sometimes they're going to be busy doing other things, or you know, they don't want to do this and that. You can find disabled people who live with their families and the families don't want to deal with that or whatever. Some disabled people live alone, and of course, again, they might only be able to afford that, the actual living part, and not so much the caretaker part. Disabled people are assigned caretakers instantly by the government. That's not how this works. And by that I mean like not every single disabled person, and like not for free, and you know, all this other stuff. And so here's the thing, if the disabled person who needs the pre-cut, the pre-peeled orange slices or whatever, kiwi, whatever fruit that you can think of. For a lot of people, if they don't have that, or ready meals, you know, things like that, they don't eat. We're talking about mobility issues. We're talking about, you know, if they can't hold a knife and chop very well because they might slice off their fingers if they attempt to do that. We're talking about disabled people who have chronic pain or chronic fatigue, who may not be able to sit around or stand around, move around for the period of time that it would take to grab the food and prep it, cut it up, all of that. Having stuff already prepped, already prepared is so helpful, especially to people with brain fog. Hi, hello. Because it's stuff that you don't really have to think about. Going grocery shopping, especially now with the prices rising constantly, right? Going grocery shopping and having to plan out your meals can be so tiresome. So many times I have no idea what it is that I really want to get, and then it ends up becoming like an ingredient household, I think that's what they call it, where you just have a bunch of ingredients but not really anything to make an actual meal with. So you're kind of just like snacking rather than actually having a proper healthy meal, right? So no, the pre-cut oranges, etc. are not for lazy people. I mean, you know what, if you are feeling lazy on this day that the video goes up and you want to go to the grocery store and you want to get some pre-cut oranges and just walk out the door, especially if you're going road tripping, right? I'm gonna have to drive 17 hours minimum when I move. So just having that kind of stuff, we're good to go. It's so easy. So yeah, maybe you are gonna feel lazy and you just want to do that, and that's completely okay. Don't let anyone tell you otherwise. But also I think people would agree that you probably shouldn't be trying to cut an orange while you're driving, so safety. And I mean, listen, even getting pre-cut fruits and vegetables, I know people will also comment on the price, how they are more expensive, and that is true. Yes, getting pre-cut fruits and vegetables is going to be a little bit more expensive because you are paying for the convenience. And here's the thing, being disabled in general It's just more expensive. Society just made it more expensive. Unfortunately, that's something that we keep having to put up with. But it is still cheaper than getting a takeout and ordering on DoorDash. Ordering every single meal from DoorDash. Now, ordering from DoorDash is more fun, but it's too expensive. But getting a couple of pre-prepped fruits and vegetables, ready meals, whatever, is still going to be cheaper because you can run through that for a few days versus getting a tiny little bowl of something from wherever. And then of course the part where people will start to comment, especially, yes, but the plastic, the single-use plastic part. Listen, there are so many conversations about this, about single-use plastic, that we could go on for years for, because it's a never-ending fight, yelling and battling with these people about this. Take that up with the government. Take that up with the government, and don't chastise disabled people for needing these things. It's not the disabled person's fault that they need this, because it's not like they woke up one day and said, hey, I'm gonna lose mobility and whatever. There are quite a few articles and stuff on this topic, and probably a hell of a lot more videos on this topic, so I'll link a few down below. So if you want to read more about it, you can go ahead and read more about it. Yes, we have a climate issue going on with the planet, and a lot of that is more just because of big, large corporations, and not, you know, the small percentage of disabled people in comparison to the non-disabled population. We are not your problem. We are definitely not your problem. So yeah, definitely think about that the next time that you see the pre-prep stuff in the grocery stores. When people talk about it on Twitter, on Instagram, on TikTok, just think about how it's not lazy to have these things and to need these things. And also, when disabled people get brought up, don't yell at them, because we need that sometimes. Both of those things happen, and both of those things need to not happen. So I hope you learned something about that today. And if you want to learn more things about disability awareness, deaf awareness, etc., I do have a Patreon page where for as low as $1 a month, you will get access to lots of things, lots of exclusive content as well. And obviously the higher the tier, the more big stuff that you get. But that's always a way to help support a disabled creator. Be sure, if you have not yet, to hit the subscribe button and the notification bell so you hopefully don't miss out on any future uploads. Thank you for taking the time out of your day to watch this video. I really do appreciate it, and I will see you later.